Uh, Good morning, everyone. So let's start uh, class. I think you have a follow-up batch. So I'm sharing my screen. Uh, Say yes if it is visible to you, the chat. Satish, say yes if it is visible to you. Yeah, confirm me that you are able to see my screen. No. Okay. Can you guys confirm me that you're able to see my screen and you're able to hear me as well? Yes. Okay, Simran. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Let's continue. So, yeah, welcome to day three of UI technologies. So, so far we have understood uh, web development and specifically HTML. So, yesterday we have gone through what is HTML and the different versions of HTML. Yeah, we have seen a page structure, sample page structure, like how it is look like. Yeah. So, and the different sections within an HTML page. Yeah, main sections. And we have understood what are HTML tags. Yeah, they are actually the building blocks of every web page. And the tag is one block. Yeah. So we understood what are the different parts in a normal HTML tag that we can have. Yes. A paragraph can have, attributes. So we call these things as an attribute. Here there is an attribute href. Yeah. So today this syntax will get more familiar to us because we'll do more, we'll see more tags and we'll work with them. I did mention about the development environment you should have. So it is easy that we can do type our code online as well as offline as well. And these are some of the options that we have and the resources. Now let's get back to codepen.io. So I'll say D3 HTML tags. I hope you got a chance to try this out. So if not, you know, do hands-on. So I'll explain some of the tags now. I'll give you a few minutes for you guys also to try it out and ask me if there are any questions. Yeah. So let's go through some of the tags. Okay. So we understood that HTML is all about the different markup tags so that we mark our content such a way that later we can actually control it. Later we can actually style it. So we make it uh, present good actually. So that's how HTML is helping. We saw in the day one that for whatever content I add, if I mark it up, later it will be good. So here itself, I already see this is a typical HTML skeleton. You all have to start with. This is doc type and HTML, the root tag. That also has an attribute called language is equal to en, which means that we are telling browser that, okay, I'm actually going to write, yeah, in English language. Yeah. So then we have got a tag called head and the body. Body is where we'll have to write our HTML tags so that we get it in the output or on the browser. Now, let me type a tag which is called h1. Yeah, it's called h1. So h1 actually stands for heading 1. Now, yeah, this is a tag for h1 where there's a opening tag and we have a closing tag. Now within the opening and closing tag, I can have my heading, okay, my first heading. And you'll see as soon as I just typing, so it automatically reloads and then, you know, oh, heading is displayed. Yeah. So we'll see, yeah, there are many heading tags in HTML. We'll go through them one by one to start with. Yes. So this is heading and it says it is an highest level heading H1. Yeah, it is highest level heading H1. Similarly, in HTML, we have got, six levels. So I can have an H2. Yeah, I can have an H2. I can have an H3. Yeah, yeah. Do you see it? H2, H3. So we have up to H6. Yeah. So we can go on writing H3, H4, H5 up to H6. So these are actually, six headings from H1 to H6. So you see that every web page, when we start, we will have some heading, just like in a normal report. Yeah, we start with some headings. We give a title. Yeah, so assume like they're mainly used for giving the page title. Right? Okay. So if you notice, I mentioned one more tag here, which is actually this one. It begins with exclamation, hyphen, hyphen, yeah, and then ends with hyphen, hyphen, and then a greater than symbol. And this is actually, yeah, a comment. So whatever I type within that, it is only used for documenting purpose, or it is used to, so let's say I want to skip H2 now. I can just comment it so that, that is not coming on the screen. And again, let's say you want it back, then you can put it back. This is comment. Okay. So after heading, we have tag like paragraph. Okay. So I am using a text generator called Lorem. Okay. That's why these texts are not that readable. Don't worry about that. Okay. We'll mention what is that. Okay. Let's say Lorem 4 and I hit tab. I could get a paragraph of text. Yeah. P stands for paragraph. So usually a paragraph of text. right? Okay. So let's say, yeah, I'm bored with all text, right? I need some image, right? I need some image on my screen. I need some. So there's a tag called img. There's a tag called img where I give, yeah, src. What is src? It's an attribute of image tag. What is alt? It's an attribute of image tag. Now what do I give in the source? So I can give any URL, yeah, any URL. So let me get some URL from internet, which is like, I can go into pick some. I'll take an image from internet. I'll copy the complete path and I give it to the SRC. Yeah, you can take any image and, on the internet, copy that URL and actually copy the URL and put it here. So I got an image. And there is an attribute called alt for image. So we give, okay. So it's a sample image. Now let's say if this image fails to load, I gave a wrong path. What I did give a wrong path. But that time, this alt, which is nothing but alternative text. Yeah, alt is nothing but alternative text, which actually helps me say that, okay, there is supposed to be an image with this title. Yeah, so it's always important to give alt attribute, even though you know we don't see it when the image is present. Okay, cool. So you see already my application and the page which I'm developing has a lot of content in it, and I've used so many markup tags to present my content better. Now moving on, some more tags that we have in HTML. Let's say I need a header. Yeah, I need a header. Okay, so let's say, okay, so I'll put some content in the header. Yeah, so you see, this is an header. Yeah, but if you observe, okay, so in the display, we don't see much of a difference, though it is an header. Yeah, there are many tags like, you know, header, so which are actually mainly used for markup. So I'll clarify what is just for markup. Okay, now let me show you how does a header alone look like. We really don't see that. Okay, header as, I mean, from the appearance it looks like an header, but but this particular tag actually, you know, is called semantic tag. Yeah, it is actually called semantic tag. Yeah, so in HTML, so we identify tags as semantic because they are giving the information. They're giving the information about what content is inside. It is giving meaning. Even we call paragraph headings also a semantic tags. Yeah. just a note. Okay, even paragraph, heading are also called semantic tags. But in HTML5 version, they introduce a lot of semantic tags. Semantic tags are actually, are tags which have meaning. You may not get the output as they, but they have a meaning. So let me list out some of the semantic tags that were introduced part of HTML5 version. So we have a tag called article. We have a tag called section. We have a tag called NAV. Okay, we have a tag called main. We also have a tag called footer. Yeah. So unlike image tag where we got an image, yeah, here in all these tags we don't see any difference. Let's say if I put text, it doesn't look like an header. Yeah. If I add some more text here, it doesn't look like an article. Yeah. Or the appearance, but this is actually, meant for this is meant for search engines and browsers. These semantic tags basically help, the search engine optimization. So what is SEO? Search engine optimization. So in brief, SEO actually helps, yeah, browser engine, right? So let's say if I type Google and in that I'm looking for a specific content, we know that the search engine will go through each of the HTML page, yeah, for the related websites, and it will try to find an information, okay, which is present somewhere. For example, now just to show you an example, let me go to google.com and then type, look for something like, okay, uh, section, yeah, section tag in HTML. Yeah. So now as soon as I type, okay, the browser engine will actually, I mean the search engine, not the browser engine, the search engine will actually start scrolling the content in each of this page. Okay. So these markup tags that we actually write with the proper name like article, header, section, NAV, yeah, they'll help the browser to identify the content. So for example, it can actually start looking content in header. It can also start looking in article. Yeah. So or it can even skip NAV because usually there will be nothing to search in the NAV. NAV stands for a nav bar. Alright. Okay. So these semantic tags helps to improve the search engine optimization when it is scanning this page for results. All right. So which is SEO in short. Yeah. If you want more explanation, yeah, please have a read. Maybe later in the when time permits, I think we can explain more about it. All right. So these are some of the tags. Okay. Yeah. To begin with, as I mentioned, HTML is full of tags. You find a lot of tags. Okay. These are just a few that I could actually mention. Okay. Now let us see some more interesting tags. Yeah. So let me just clear this out. I'll put it in a notepad. We'll share the same with you guys so that you can actually practice these tags. Yeah. Later when you get a chance. Again, I'll start with an HTML skeleton. Okay. And there are a lot of tags going in here. So don't worry about them. Yeah. They're a bit advanced. We'll learn. But there is one tag that I would like to highlight before we proceed is called title. Yeah. Which goes within the head tag. The title actually, is a text which comes, yeah, here in the tab. For example, you see Excalibur. Here you see a pen by Arun. Here you see a pick some image, right? So a title is one. So you write here, okay? So HTML tags, yeah, and save it, okay? You will start noticing here. Since I am within an online editor, yeah, I am not getting expected output. You try this locally, so you will see that this particular content is visible on the tab. Whatever you give here will be visible. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Okay, so we saw some of the basic HTML tags, yeah, and the different tags that we have. We also saw attributes. Now let's get into some specific tags that we have. So let's understand list tags. Okay, list tags. Okay, so in HTML we have, two types of list mainly. Two types of list. Okay, so one is ordered list, one more is unordered list. It's called ordered list. Another one is unordered. Okay, let's look at the ordered list. So the tag name for ordered list is OL. It's called OL. Do you see anything coming up? No, I've added a content. Let's put some text here. Text 1, comma text 2. Do you see anything? It is looking like a list? No, not really. Yeah, but then how? So under the list, we have another tag which is called LI, list item. So here I mention text 1. Okay, similar to this, I can have any number of list items within a OL. Now you observe, okay, how many list items I'm going to get. Okay, so we have 3. Yeah, so we have put 5 items in the list and we got in a format of list. So this numbering is automatically added and it is in order, right? That is why the name order list OL. Yeah, let's look at unordered list. So unordered list is the tag is UL. Yeah, the tag is UL. And then I'll copy the same list item. Just to quickly show you how does unordered list look like. Do you see unordered list? Yes. So unordered list is list without showing the order, yeah, or the sequence, but we get, okay, start with a bullet points, yeah, and we have attributes, yeah, and properties that using which we can actually change this. Let's say you want, a Roman letters instead of normal decimal numbers, but you want some other things like circles instead of this bullet. So we have a control. Okay, so these are basically the basic lists that we have in HTML. Now, one thing to observe, yeah, apart from list, yeah, it's called nesting. What is it called? Nesting. So what is actually nested here? We see that, you know, okay, the tags are usually nested. Yeah, same case with body also and HTML itself. Yeah, so it is possible to nest, yeah, tags within one another. Do you see that? OL, and each OL has a line. Yeah, so this is called nesting. We can write in HTML tags within another tags. Let's say this is all happens to be an article and I have a list. Then I can put this list in a tag called article, yeah, or a section. Okay, I can write them. Yes, this is an article. Yeah, so no restriction. Some of these tags, okay, like we call them container tags, also can have one or more or multiple tags inside them. Right? Okay, these are list. Okay, we have seen list. We have seen a lot of content uh, tags which have content. What else in HTML? Yeah, another common thing like okay, common set of tags are related to forms. Yeah, HTML forms. So what are forms? Yeah, so any online application, right, or any contact page, right? We collect the input from the user. We capture a lot of inputs from the user. Okay, so for capturing input from the user, we use tags, okay, related to HTML forms. In order to create any form, okay, in HTML, we have one container tag which is called form. Now, all the form elements ideally should go within this form container. Do you see a form coming? No, right? Let me put some content. Yeah, no, we don't look, it doesn't look like a form. So that's why I mentioned it's a container tag. All right. Now within this container tag, we can have lot of form tags. So there are so many form tags. Let's see them in detail. Okay. To start, yeah, we have a tag called input. What is it called? Input. Right? See, now we got a tag called input. Here I can type. Okay. Here I can type. Yes. Yes, we are able to type. Yeah. Now, if I'm able to type, how do I submit? How do I save? So I can also add a button. Can say submit or search. Let's say I wanted to search. Okay, search. Right? Now let's say before search, I need some options. Okay, I need some options. So we have something called input type radio. Yeah, similar to radio, we also have input checkbox. See it? Yeah, input type, input radio, input checkbox. What else? We're not limited to this tags. So there are a lot of form tags. One is, okay, so I assume like this input is very small. I need more lines to type. I can have one tag which is called text area. Yeah. So where I can type more information. You see it? I'm able to put more information, and this is called text area. So we have an input, we have radio, we have checkbox, we have text area, we have a button which is like search to submit the form. So since I'm submitting the form, okay, saying that I have not linked it properly. Okay, so no worries. Okay, so just save the page and just reload it. Yeah, if you get to happen this, since we are not writing the full logic, yeah, where to submit the form is telling I don't know where to submit, right? Okay, let us see some more tags. Yeah, these are the basic ones. So we have got some more tags like in the form of select. So let's say this is a country selection, yeah, or a state selection. So select has this option attribute. I mean option tag, yeah, option tag within select. Okay, and I can have a lot of selections here. For example, I say select country, right? You can go for selecting a country. I can have the option. What all countries I want to select? Okay, one is India. Yeah, one is India. I can have so many options. Okay, I can mention a lot of other countries. Yeah, so that I can see it in the list. You see it now? So this is actually a select tag. So select tag basically has, yeah, a select container tag, and then we have so many options that a user can actually select. Right? Yeah, I think I have managed to mention like some of the commonly used form tags that we see day to day. Yeah, yes, there are different types of inputs, yeah, which are available. We'll see in a while. Okay, so before getting into, uh, some more tags, so let me concentrate on another tag which is called line break. What is it? BR. It's called line break. Now let us see what is this. Yeah. So we know that, okay, we have displayed, an input and the radio and the checkbox in same line. But what if I want them to start in a new line? I want to put a break that nothing else should come. So then we generally add a BR tag at the end of each tag so that the next coming tag will start in a new line. Yeah. So next coming tag is starting in a new line. If I put BR at the end of radio, so BR comes in another line. BR comes in another line. Yeah. Text area again, I can put BR so that the, the next tag starts in a new line. At the end of select, again I put a BR at the end of each tag. So that search comes next line. Now if you observe, yeah, we are missing something in the form. Yeah, which is yeah, which is a tag called label. label telling what is what. Yeah. So I should say, what is this text for? Right? Enter your name. So we are now saying enter your name. So user can understand. Yeah. With this tag, we can provide the label to each of the fields. For example, if this radio, okay, we can select, we can write some label. Okay. Yeah. Say, are you, okay, an Indian? Just to check, radio to select. Okay. Do you agree for terms and condition? Yeah. Can I want down? Okay. Terms and conditions. See? Yeah. So label is nice, right? Yeah. So let's say if there are any comments, we can have comments. You can see any comments can go here. Right? Yeah. Now the form is looking better. Yes. No. Yes. Yeah. There's also another tag. Okay. Which is called, you know, field set. Yeah. Which is called field set. Okay. I would say that is also a container tag, but the thing is, it adds a nice border around my fields. If you see already, my page is, becoming clutter. Like for me, it is difficult to find what is where. So all these editors comes with a nice option called format. So here in CodePen, I see this option here, which is called format. So you see, I hit format and my content starts, aligning properly so that it is bit easy for me to read. Yeah, so added field set. There's another tag called legend. Yeah, so there is another tag called legend, which basically helps me add some title. Let's say this is contact us form. Okay, so I can add a nice legend for the whole form. Yeah, saying that this is a contact us form. I can write an H1 or H2 that we just learned few minutes back to have, you know, and a heading. Okay, please fill in this form. Right? Yeah. But I'm missing one thing here. If you have observed normal forms, okay, right? So, yeah, which is actually an attribute in the form. Yeah, in the form, it's called placeholder. Okay, let me show you what is that attribute called placeholder. So we have many attributes, but one such attribute I'm just mentioning for our context is called placeholder. So I'll say, okay, your name. Just see what happens. So in the input, we got a placeholder text called your name, which is basically giving an idea to the user what they should type. Yeah. So as soon as I start typing, it goes away. Yeah. So I'll say Arun, the text goes away. Let's say in the text area, Yeah, user don't know what to write. You can give some more clue. Yeah, so you can instruct him. Okay, write your comments. Yeah, so we see that yes, user has been given some more information about each of this field so that you don't have to read these labels next to it. Yeah, you can start typing. Yeah, as you want, and you click on submit. Right? Yeah. So yes, I think we have covered what are like some of the form attributes and the tags. Okay, so these are typical form tags that we come across in HTML. Yeah, there might be few more elements, but these are the basic ones, and you know how we can use it. All right. Okay. Um, I'll take up some questions. I think we have covered so much content already. Too many tags. Yeah. Uh, so don't worry. Like these tags will get familiar to you as and when you start practicing it. So as an information, I've given you that there are so many tags. Okay. We'll start taking some questions. So let's see. You guys can write actually in the chat if you have questions. And then based on that, we can. So any questions? Maybe I can unmute Satish. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Satish?
I'm fine.
Yeah. So any questions so far?
No doubts. It's clear.
It's clear. Okay. How about Sai? Good morning, Sai. And if others have questions, please write in. I'll be monitoring chat as well. Okay. I have George also. George, good morning. Any questions? All right. Okay. Good. Yeah, a good question. Okay. Yeah, I'll explain. I'll explain what is ID. Yeah. How about Prasan? Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Arun. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I think,
I
yeah,
have
you have a
mentioned my
question.
question in the
Mm,
questions,
mm,
so please
mm.
answer.
Yeah, yeah, I'll answer it. Anything apart from this?
No, all clear right now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I don't see many questions coming in. Let me answer this one. Yeah, so we understood there are lot many tags and many tags to mark up our content which we want to display it. Now, along with those tags, there are a lot of attributes which we see in this green, right? That the attribute names are appearing in green and their value is in, yeah, uh, highlighted in yellow color. So every attribute will take this form, attribute name is equals to, and then attribute value. I have missed some of these attributes. Yeah. So meaning we didn't give up actual value or what we ideally give. For example, ID. Yeah. I didn't mention what is ID. Okay. So I didn't talk about what goes in the name. Right. So now let me explain this. Yeah. These attributes, the for attribute, maybe the ID attribute and the name attribute. Okay, so for this, let me take an example of a login form. So let's build a login form now. Yeah, so usually a lot of pages we see a login page. Okay, now let's take a look at how login form looks like, and we'll try to identify what elements actually goes within a login form. We learned some elements now, so but we are not sure what all elements goes within the login form. So let's look at an image of a login form. Guess it is loading still. Okay, finally it loaded. What do you see in the login form? Which elements do you see? Yeah, we see an input element. Yeah, this also looks like an input element. And we have a button, login, and we have another type button called cancel. Now let us implement this, yeah, with the recent knowledge that we have with respect to HTML. Okay, so how did we start? We said any form should ideally be within a form tag. As soon as I type form, I get an action attribute. It says these are some of the mandatory attributes that you have to give. So for now, I'll mention a special value called hash. So what it says, we don't have a receiver, we don't have a program which is actually handling this form. So I'm telling, in case form gets submitted, submit it to the same page. Okay, don't worry, I'll show you what is submitting to the same page. Okay, let's add a label. Okay, label for, I'll give name. Yeah, let's say username. Yeah, and here I'll say username. I'll add in a tag called input. Type is equal to text. Here I mention an ID, yeah, saying username. Just observe, I'll explain you what is the one purpose of ID. There are many other use cases why we write ID. You took r is equal to username, ID is equal to just a second. I think I'm being signed out. Do you guys still hear me? Can one of you confirm? Can you hear me? The chat? Yes, no? Yeah,
Yes,
good.
yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, fine. So I was saying for and ID. Let me explain these two now. I've given an ID for this input. Just observe on the form. If I have to type in, I have to go and click here. Correct? I have to type here. But with adding for attribute to the label, which is having same value as that of ID. See the behavior. I am clicking on username. I'm clicking on username and I'm able to get focus on to its corresponding field. Yeah, username. So in general, ID is actually a unique ID value that we want to give it to any field. Here we are giving it to input. Let's say if I want for some paragraph, I want a unique ID, which is first paragraph. I can give a value called ID is equal to first. Yeah, so I'm showing you here a good example of usage of ID, and this is for a different purpose. I'll tell you later, we will use this in CSS. Here I'm seeing a very good example where I've linked label tag with input. If I don't give for, these two are not linked, at least for getting the focus. It is next to it, but now see, no effect. So the for attribute should be given a value which is same as this ID. Okay, let's move on. Okay, hope now this is clear. Now let's make a login form. We'll understand some more things while creating it. So I said Will I need a BR tag so that the next set of things starts in a new line. Now let's add label. For this, I'll give what is called as password. Now I'll have to add an input for password. Okay. And I said ID is equal to password. It should match that of the label. Yeah. Ideally label should match that of the field. So here I have not given anything. I'll say password. All right. Yeah. So I need one more space that stick to each other. Let's add one more BR tag. Right. Okay. This is fine. Let's see if password is getting focused. Username is getting focused. Now tell me one thing, what is missing here? Password is not looking like a password field. My password, whatever I'm typing, is visible. Yeah. So for this, we have a type attribute in input, okay, which is actually written as text. So this should go as password. There is a type attribute in input. To have a password field, we have a type name itself is called password. Now let me start typing. Do you see my password? No? Do you see an icon already coming in? Yeah. So this is type password. All right. Apart from this, yeah. So I have login button. Okay. And I have a cancel button. So let me add a button. Within button, can type login. That becomes a login button. I will need another button. Okay. I need another button. Instead of cancel, in our case, let me add a reset button. What is it? It's called reset button. Now let's understand quickly what is these two doing. So we know login is mainly to login, which will basically submit. Okay. Yeah. Submit whatever I type here that we can submit to the form using login. But then what is reset? Yeah. So the reset actually, helps me clear these values. Observe these two inputs now. I click on reset. No, not happening. Okay. Instead, it is actually submitting. So in order to do that, we have an attribute on button as well, which says type. The type of button that we are looking here is called reset. In the body of the button, the text can be anything. It can be as something as clear. But here, the type name should be reset. Then this button works as a clear button. So let's say I type something, say clear, it is clearing. Okay, we added field set and legend. Let us quickly add field set and introduce legend also. Now we got a form. Now, just to show you now how is action working, and okay, something else I'm actually missing here within the form. I'll take this form onto my local, meaning I'll take this into a new page on my local just to show you how this works. So yesterday we have created this our LO page. Let me open that with Visual Studio Code. Yeah. And then we do a bit more development. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm just getting that form into that LO page. I can go for a little bit of formatting so that my page content looks nice. Yeah. So it looks neat and tidy. Right. So save it. Now, okay. Now let's see the output of this form, how it is coming. Is it same? Yes, it is same. Yeah, it is same. So I type in some values here. Let's say Arun. I'll type my password. You're not seeing it. So let me click on login to see what happens. Yeah, let me click on login to see what happens. I did login. Okay, you see that, the form is getting submitted to the same page. You see the hash value here? It's coming. So hash basically represent same page. Yeah, meaning whoever is collecting the form to the same person, we are submitting it. Yeah, whoever is collecting the form details to the same person, we are submitting it. But let me show something else in action. But we don't know which values are going, right? So for this, we'll have to introduce another as attribute called name. What is it? You have to introduce another attribute called name. So what is name? Let's say, okay, name is, yeah, in this case, username. How about here? This happens to be password. So I'll type same name as that of ID. Yeah, just to make it consistent, I'm keeping the same name as ID, same name as this ID. Now let us go back to the form and submit. What happens here? I click on login. Now you observe my URL. Okay. Now you observe my URL. It actually, you know, it goes in this form. So it is submitted to the same page, but the data is coming in this format. This is called query string. So the data which I have submitted in the form is going in an URL for, okay, with name same as this field name and the value which user gave. Name here of the password is same as what was given here, and then the password, which is the value which I gave. Right? So now you understood what is name attribute, what is its purpose, and what is why we say action is equal to hash. So you will learn later like what is the different purpose of how do we give action to so that it goes to the server. Okay. So while we are in the form, there is another important thing that we need to understand. Yeah. One last thing is called validation. So let's say what happens if I try to submit a form without giving values. Do you see anything happening? No, form is getting submitted. I see that username password is empty over here. So there is one option to prevent that in HTML, which is by an attribute called required. What's the attribute name? It's called required. So we'll just see this. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm adding, in my case, in this form, both username, password are required. Let's see how the form behaves now if I try to submit without giving any value. See, a message pops up saying, no, you cannot leave this blank. You should enter. Again, it says, this also cannot be left blank. So you'll have to type some password. Now it allows me to submit my form. Yeah. So in simple, okay, this is how, yeah, we can start the validation of the form. Yeah. So that user will not miss these fields. All right. Okay. So I'll just quickly summarize. I think I know you have another class which is starting up. So we learned different HTML tags. Yeah. To start with heading. Yes. Then we learned some tags like paragraph. Yeah. We learned some semantic tags, specifically header, section. Yeah. Article, footer, header. So these are some of the semantic tags in HTML. Yeah. So which gives meaning, but they help for search engine. Yeah. Not much to the user or to the content. Right. Apart from that, we saw the list, different types of list which are possible. Yeah. And then we, dived into more of HTML form related tags. We saw many form tags that we generally use for creating form. Yeah. So we had so many form elements. So we learned some key attributes in the form of ID, name, placeholder, yeah, type. Okay. So yeah. So in the HTML form, we learned input, select, radio, checkbox, button. Yeah. What else? We saw field set. We saw the tag form itself. Right. At the end, we added required attribute. We saw how it helps us for form validation. Okay. So I think we'll end here for today. I can stay back for a few minutes if I have any questions, and feel free to drop if you have another session coming up. Okay. Thanks for today, those who are leaving. If you have any questions, I can take it up. So please add them in the comment. I'll come one by one. Okay, code screen. Yeah. So login was on the screen when you were showing name attribute. Please show the code. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, question, Prasan. Oh, what's your question? You can take it up.
Hi, when were you describing the login form name attribute and last one? I can see only the login form in the browser. I was not able to see the code that you were typing in Notepad or in CodePen, whatever, wherever you were typing this. So could you please show me that screen
Oh
so that
yeah,
I
yeah,
can
yeah,
note
yeah.
down
It's
the,
called code pen. It's called
yeah.
code
So
pen.
I want to note down the code.
Oh, you want to note down this code? Okay.
Huh.
There
Yeah.
is an interesting feature
Mm,
within CodePen. Okay. I'll
mm.
click on save. Okay. I can share this link. Now this link is available to you all.
Okay.
Anyone, any of you can open this and get this code. I can put in that newly created login form over there. Okay. That is again available.
Yeah, it's available. I have got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this is a purpose of like online editors where you can easily share the code to others, even for review and many more things.
Mm. But I'm not seeing the name attribute in this.
Now I have added it in one more form just to see.
Okay.
So we created a form and then we, yeah, now
Okay.
do you see the second for example that I pasted, which has name. Oh wait, I think I have to save it. To save it, let me save it. Saved it. Now you see your name attribute. Uh, how can you get demo videos? Yeah, good question. So I think you should join our WhatsApp group. Another thing is on a YouTube, go to our channel Logic Labs Technologies. You will see videos coming in maybe another couple of hours. So day one, day two videos are already posted. So you guys can, go back and watch if you missed any of those sessions. Yeah, it's on a YouTube Logic Labs uh, channel. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any other question? Okay. You see here. So yeah, we have our demo videos. Now you can watch them. Yeah, you will find my videos. Yeah, you will see this in the list. Yeah, you see here, this was second day. So third day video will be uploaded. Yeah. Yeah, today's video will come in some time. Okay. Do you have any other question? Simran, Srinivas, Swapnil. Okay, let me stop the recording. Yes.